Okay, welcome to the YouTube video for getting used to using the CPM ebook. If you forgot your textbook at home or at school, either way you will be able to access the CPM curriculum and resources through any web page. You can access this on any type of like iPad, iPhone, anything where you can get internet access to surf the web will be an option for you to use the ebook. Most of our computers, I think, start on a common search engine like Google. Google is pretty common. It's what opens up for me. In order to get to the ebook, what you're going to want to type in is you're going to want to type in textbooks.cpm.org. Okay. Every student was given a username in order to access their CPM ebook. Mine is just my email address, and then my password comes up for me because I click on Remember Me all the time. I also came up here and saved it to my favorites, which is also something that you might want to consider doing if you plan to use the ebook for most of your homework at home. So basically, once you get your username and your password, you're just going to sign in. Pretty simple. If you need to pause this video at any time because that's what you're working on logging in, feel free to do that as well. This is the very first page. It's going to welcome you to the core connections that you are a part of. As a 6th grade instructor, I am part of Core Connections 1. That is the ebook that I have access to. They do offer tours of the student ebook if you are interested in that. Maybe parents might be interested in something like that. Other than that, I'm just going to click on Core Connections and it's going to bring me right into the book. You'll see up here that it says, please choose a lesson. You will have access to basically any lesson that you really want to go to, so throughout the entire year. We're obviously starting with Chapter 1. So all of these lessons are within Chapter 1. So say we click on the first lesson, 1.1.1. What does this representation tell me? This is a exact replica, for the most part, of what the actual textbook looks like. Okay? So you will see the lesson title up here. You will see the lessons that the students went through or that you went through if you are a student watching this. And then you will also see down here the review and preview section. Sometimes there are resource pages available. Any of these little red links are always very helpful. And there's a couple different ways of seeking out help. So I believe that is dependent on whether or not your computer runs off HTML or uses Java to pull up things like that. So this is an example of the very first review, preview, or the homework that the students are responsible for. Again, you can go to any lesson here in the chapter. You can go to see the entire lesson page. Another helpful clue is let's go back to our very first lesson. You also will see that the main vocabulary is in blue, and you are able to click on it and get a definition of the word. So histogram is one of the things that we focused on in lesson 1. And so I clicked on histogram simply just by clicking on it, and all of a sudden it pops up with our definition. And it usually has some type of visual example with it as well, which is helpful when you're going through. It's something that the textbook doesn't offer you. There are also hints and things that you can take advantage of as well. One of the things that is available for you are these hints. Lesson 1.1.1 doesn't really have a very good example for hints, so I'm going to go to a different lesson. Here I clicked on lesson 1.2.3. What can a rectangular array show? I'm going to go down to the review and preview part. Let's just look at the very first example. It says Harry has a pile of 48 pennies. He organized them into a rectangular array with exactly 4 rows with 12 pennies in each row. I can click on the help, and it usually shows up very similar to this, regardless of what device you're using. And it gives some type of a hint, okay? So here it tells you exactly what the question was, gives you a visual for it. So he has 4 rows of 12 pennies. Here's your hint. It says try dividing 48 by different numbers. Are any quotients whole numbers? So you can use your multiplication skills and your knowledge of some multiplication facts to do the reverse to see if you're able to divide some different numbers into 48 to come up with at least 2 other rectangular arrays that Harry could use. If you're still struggling, it might give you an answer as well. At least one possible rectangular array is 1 by 48. What are some others? So you will see that it just gave you one possible answer, but your question has asked you to provide at least 2 other rectangular arrays. So it does provide you some additional support there. When you are done with your hint, you can simply click off of it and you will be right back to the review and preview section of this. Please go ahead and watch these videos for any type of support, whether it is just reading the question or if it's actually going through and using some of the hints that I provide and some of the additional support. So our next video will start with our very first lesson, which is lesson 1.1.1. What does this representation tell me?